At the core of our discussion is what happens if you educate people faster. Well, they're going to buy fast. Only 18% of buyers want to actually interact with a salesperson before they're ready to make a buying decision. But most of our businesses are centered around the salesperson having access and the ability to interact with their target customer. But in the medical space or even outside of the medical space, access is becoming much more difficult today. But you still have to educate people. And what's going on is really the greatest sales disruption of all time. In fact, Forbes recently wrote an article that chief marketing officers have the highest turnover of any professional title on LinkedIn. And the reason is CMOs aren't adjusting rapidly enough for this ever-evolving disruption that is taking place in sales. You see, people are 4 times more likely to watch a video than to read text because reading is hard, but watching a video is effortless. So you've got to make the learning experience that you're using on your prospects to be super easy. And when people watch a video, something magical happens. Their brains are 60,000 times faster in processing the information. And when that comes down to brass tacks, people are now 85% more likely to buy after watching a product or service video. What has got to be the most helpful visual in understanding the way strategy works with video. You see, when marketers start using video, they make this golden mistake. It's a lot like a train. A video is just like a train. A train needs train tracks to take people to an end destination, like Central Station, where they get out and make a purchase. And the same is true with a video campaign. That means you've got to lay out the interconnected train tracks, the digital strategy, the implementation, the execution, so you can flow people who are watching that video all the way to the end destination. And when marketers don't do that, they end up with marketing and sales train wrecks. And it's tragic. You see, you have to be thinking all the way from strategy to ROI. And so when Wirebuzz is building out campaigns, we have a team of specialists that dig in to each piece of the train track to make sure we can guarantee our projects generate ROI, which is the only thing that matters. And when marketers create video campaigns, what they normally do is they start right here in the content creation phase and then can't figure out why nothing generates an ROI, and what they end up doing is hope nobody notices or calculates it. And the smartest thing to do is lay out the train tracks and make sure you can move people from point A all the way to ROI. You see, you have to be able to transfer the information from your big massive dome into your prospect's dome for them to make a buying decision, because if your prospects know what you know and they believe what you believe, then buying should be an absolute no-brainer. So let me get into the rockstar rules for selling at faster rates. And let me break that down. Ideally, what you want to do is get your target customer going with you at your rhythm. So when you get them through that buyer's journey, they're ready to buy. And there are some hardcore rules that you need to know. First and foremost, video is not a tactic. Video is an accelerant, like gasoline. Video is the best accelerant for every online tactic: search, social, email, traffic, sales. And when you use video, the rockstar rule is every single time, video will help you. 82% of buyers want nothing to do with a salesperson until they're ready to make a buying decision. And so when a buyer comes onto your website, what's going through their head is the same thing that's going through your head when you go to a website. You're thinking to yourself, are you going to go their way? The flowing of information has to happen in a certain direction, and every time I think of the right direction, John Mayer comes to mind because he teaches us how to flow people in the right direction. Bring people down through the journey, make it a very coherent, logical thought process. Less information, but the right information. Handle your common objections, show them your product and its great benefits, and answer those late-stage hesitations. Do it all in one easy-to-digest page. More on that in a moment. You know, when Dan Tyler was in my office, he dropped a bomb on episode 140 of my podcast. He said 80% of HubSpot conversions happen on the top of the page. Why? Because on almost every valuable customer journey page on HubSpot, they put a video, all right? So there are 3 videos. If we're going to talk about medical devices, there are 3 videos that every device needs to have. And let me break those down for you. First, a device overview video. This is your introduction. I want you to think of your videos less like Chipotle burritos, where you jam as much ingredients as possible, and more like little enchiladas that are easy for people to digest. That overview video is your first opportunity to introduce them to your product and how it's going to revolutionize their life. Then you have to give them a customer testimonial story. I emphasize story because we're all products of the television generation. And traditionally on the internet, when businesses have created testimonials, they push the guy up against the wall like this. And he goes, I use device XYZ and the reason is boring. Nobody watches that anymore. They did in 2007. But now, click on to the next thing. Here's what a customer testimonial story looks like.
My name's Amanda. I'm 23 years old, and I'm BRCA2 positive.
I'm Sandy. I'm Amanda's mom, and our family has a long history of breast cancer.
I remember when I was in 3rd grade, my parents, sat us downstairs. And
you don't need to see the whole video to know that I brought you into a powerful story. I showed you what is called B-roll. So there's video of the person talking to the camera, and just long enough for you to identify who they are, and then you get to go on tour of their life as they're telling the story. Use the power of storytelling, and you will make very deep emotional connections with people, and they'll get all the way through to the end. It is part of the bingeable thing that we've learned in our lives from sitting all day watching Netflix, and your business deserves to market with that same power. Tell a really compelling story, drag people all the way to the end, and they will never forget your business, your product, or your service. Now, a really interesting thing happened recently. As I was working on this presentation, I also thought about making sure that a device manual, the instruction manual, would be something that you would need, right? I mean, think about all the products and how to use them. And as I was writing this slide, Google released this new study that found that when it comes to learning about new products, YouTube users are 3 times more likely to prefer watching a YouTube tutorial video than reading the product's instructions. Let me unpack this for a moment. It says prefer, 3 times more likely to prefer watching a YouTube tutorial video. Now, there's a lot going on there. If you just said to yourself, hey, well, Todd, that's YouTube. People prefer to watch this on YouTube. You're missing the golden marketing message. Remember, people are 4 times more likely to watch video than to read text. They're 3 times more likely to prefer watching a tutorial or instructional video instead of reading the manual. And that's why when you buy an iPhone or a MacBook Pro or an iPad, they don't even give you a manual. They already know. You're going to go online and figure it out on your own. So as a marketer, you should be thinking about creating a device overview video tutorial on how to use it. And I'm going to show you in just a moment where that fits in your customer journey. So let's break down a content roadmap and how it works. So what is a content roadmap? Well, you have to enter the conversation that's in your customer's mind. The first thing you should be thinking is, what do target customers care about today when they arrive on that page? What is the real problem or desire? What are the bad options for getting, which of course is your competitor's product? What's the best solution, which of course is your product? And what lingering questions or doubts need to be knocked down for them to take action? So let me show you a roadmap for our client cool sculpting, and I'm going to break it down for you. At the very beginning are on-ramps. On-ramps are like social media. This is where people are just starting to hear about you before they come to your website. They're where they already were, and they're taking an on-ramp, and they're going to find you. For cool sculpting, their on-ramps are get rid of a double chin, how to eliminate belly fat, and lose your last 10 pounds. These are the 3 things their target customers are looking for before they get to cool sculpting's page. Got it? Then they come onto your website, and you go to the next step of the process, the underlying problem or desire, which is get rid of your stubborn fat, or confidence, helping them instill more confidence. Those are the underlying problems or desires, followed by the next step. When they start thinking about solutions, that's when they're solution aware. They're thinking about liposuction, diet and exercise, fasting, and can they really get under 10% body fat? Then comes best solution aware. That's when they're learning about your product. Get it? For cool sculpting, best solution is to freeze off stubborn fat. And then once they understand your solution, they're now desire aware. And that's where before and afters come in. That's where testimonials happen. How much does it cost comes up. Does it hurt? And when you should be talking about deals and promos. They've already gone through that journey, all right? Another way to look at this is what they care about today. What is the real problem or desire? What are the bad options? What's the best solution? And what are the lingering questions or doubts for them to recognize that yours is a product that's going to solve their problems? Let's do it. First, you need an overview video. Then a customer testimonial story, followed by a device how-to or a tutorial video, okay? Lock that into your long-term memory. It'll make you millions of dollars. Now, let me show you one interesting thing about this box customer journey page. You will see that on this page, the video is in the center right there. That's because it's a brand new product. They don't even have testimonials yet, right? They don't have a tutorial yet. But eventually, those videos will fit in right there. Overview, testimonial, story, followed by the device how-to. And when you do that, you handle objections, you knock them down, people buy at faster rates. Here's a customer journey page on the Wirebuzz site, but this journey is just for device manufacturers that want to sell their devices faster. And if you want to get access to that page, all you have to do is go to wirebuzz.com/device. But it's important you realize, I got a bunch of pages that the general public never gets to see because you don't want to junk up your navigation. Instead, you want to train your team. How to use the appropriate helpful information allows you to educate people without ever feeling like you're selling to them. And before you know it, that helpful information will turn you into their guru, and they'll come back for more and want to go through your customer journey. You can also create a blog with helpful information or a helpful on-demand webinar. But the guiding rule is be helpful and you will be their guru. You see those yellow buttons? They're important for your business. Those yellow buttons, which are like book a meeting, should be connected to your CRM. And there's a lot of CRMs that you can use, but it should trigger follow-ups, which we'll get to in a moment. And that video player should also be connected to a video player that communicates to CRMs. So I put Whiskey up there, which is a great video player, and how I use it and recommend for my clients is just like this. Inside of our CRM, you can see one prospect is going through a customer video, and they watch 98% of the video. And shortly after the 2-minute mark where that red box starts, that red box is when they go over the 80% mark. And for us, that's our covert way of setting up a tripwire. You see that? When somebody goes over the tripwire, it triggers an email that goes to our sales rep that says, John from company XYZ just watched over 98% of a video, and in real time, our sales team knows who's crushing our information and demonstrating buyers' interest. You know, most sales teams have it all backwards. Their sales team burns their time chasing around cold leads, but smart marketers use digital tools like the CRM and the video player to provide covert intel on who is really interested in buying now. So here's how your sales team uses it. So before a meeting or before calls, your sales guy is going to send off an email or a text to the person he's meeting, and he's going to say, hey, Doc, looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Here's a quick video and access to more information so you're ready to talk when I walk into the room. Now, most people aren't making buying decisions that are immediate, right? They're not impulse buys for most products. In fact, few products are impulse buys. So what you want to do is realize that they don't have to buy the first time they went through because you're going to retarget them. When Wirebuzz started drinking our own Kool-Aid, we had a 9-week sales process. It basically took us 9 weeks to move people through the customer journey. But then we started drinking that Kool-Aid and amazing things happened. People started going through the videos on their own, and within 3 weeks, on average, they're raising their hand saying, dude, we are ready to buy. So we basically decreased 68% of our sales process by educating our target customers using the power of video. In 2017, with 50% less salespeople, we did 60% more revenue, and it works every time. If you educate people the way they want to learn, they buy at faster rates. It's about preference, and people prefer to learn from video. So let me show you how your business uses this in an event or a conference or a dinner or anytime you're interacting with large numbers of people. First, you got your customer journey page. You send out an email. You see those yellow buttons? Those yellow buttons are basically, hey, come see us at the event, book a meeting, get a demo, talk to our team, and schedule a time. So all you're doing is sending out an email that says, here's some helpful information. By the way, we're going to be at the event. Book a meeting with us. And because people don't open that first email, send them 5 and get them to book, because your time at the event is going to be so much more valuable if you've already got a ton of meetings booked. In fact, I went to a conference and I pre-booked my meetings, and every half hour had a new crop of prospects sit down with me. At the end of one day, we generated $200,000 in new revenue. It is just that easy. During the event, here's your strategy. Badge scan and get people into your database. That's all you're doing. You're going to use the video at your booth as a teaching tool. You're going to teach people about your product or your device and show them in a quick looped video how that product works and how it benefits their life. And then if you host a dinner or a product theater or a luncheon, you get the idea. You got to film that thing. Why? Because you're already paying for that person to speak. You're already paying for the room. And only 5% of your prospects are actually going to make it into that room, but you're going to pay 100% to have that event go down. So film it so you can educate the 100% of your prospects with the great information that's happening there. And you know what's going to happen after the event? You're going to send off an email to everybody in that database. You're going to retarget people that come to the website, and the buttons on that page are just going to change a little differently. Instead of the button saying book a meeting at the event, the button say book a demo. And if you create simple videos that people love to watch, that are educational and informative and are helpful, you will notice that if you put them on a customer journey page, you can flow them through a journey where they can learn about you. And if they don't make a buying decision the very first time, you retarget them and you stay in front of them for 500 days and you become a consistent part of their life. They will buy your product and it will change your life. Your key takeaways: prospects don't want to talk to sales until they're ready to buy. But they need to learn about your product before they can buy. People learn and buy at faster rates with video, but you have to put your prospects on train tracks so they reach a purchase destination.